Hi. There's a common misconception about the difference and the relationship between Git and GitHub. I hope in this video I can help to clarify that and also share with you the many things about GitHub that thrill me.
Git is the extremely popular version control system developed by Linus Torvalds, the creator of Linux. You can read a high-level introduction to Git on Learnable at this URL. Recall that Git is distributed. This means the entire history of a Git repository resides with each user who has access to it. Due to its decentralized design, Git does not require any remote servers for its operation. But that does not preclude the storage of Git repositories on remote servers for easy access and collaboration. The skilled and talented group at github.com have created a service that extends the capabilities of Git. Boasting the largest code host on the planet, GitHub remains the most popular place for open source software projects to host their source code repositories. GitHub offers many plans at varying prices based on the number of private repositories you host on the service. And as a means to support open source software development, there is no charge for repositories that are open and available to the public. Now, this does not mean that your work is automatically public domain or can't be kept your own through a copyright. It simply allows others to use it and contribute to it. Regardless of what operating system you use, if you just don't want to mess with the command line of Git, GitHub has a GUI client just for you. There's even a mobile app to tap into your GitHub account while you're on the go. GitHub has provided many useful features to the flow of code development, like simplifying the inclusion of a standard license for your work. All this makes GitHub ideal for collaborative projects. Associated with each repository is a group of useful project management tools. Integrated with the code, you can reference an issue as part of the commit message, and GitHub will provide the link between them, even closing the issue where appropriate. Viewing the difference between commits is easy and displayed graphically. Managing a project and its collaborators' input is quite simple. Constructing and maintaining a wiki for any project is a snap. GitHub gists are a handy place to store snippets and code samples and is included as part of any GitHub account. An exciting feature called GitHub Pages is a hidden jewel in my opinion, and I'll demonstrate that in just a few minutes. You can almost completely manage a project through just the web interface, creating a new repository, editing files in the browser, working on branches, and generating commits. So let's see how that works. When you are logged into your GitHub account, select Create Repository, New Repository. Your new repository needs a name, and I highly recommend you add a good description. You have a choice whether this is public or private. This can be changed later, so I recommend you always begin with a public repository. That makes it easy to solicit some help from the community. Just click Create Repository and you have a new GitHub repo. These instructions show you how to initialize the Git repo locally, and then you can connect it to this as the remote. And notice if you have installed the GitHub desktop application that I mentioned earlier, because it's available for Linux, Windows, or Mac, then you just click this button. There are two ways to access a remote repository. Using secure hypertext transfer protocol, you'll need to provide your account username and password each time you push, pull, or fetch. If you establish an SSH key, that will not be necessary. You see that we automatically get access to an issue tracker and wiki and some other really cool historical and usage data. But we need some content. Let's start with the README. GitHub uses Markdown, and they have even developed their own flavor of the language. Markdown is very quick to pick up, especially if you have experience with HTML, and it's a valuable thing to know anyway. After adding some content to the file, we can commit it. Every commit needs, at the very least, a commit message, and this interface makes it really handy to add an extended comment to the commit. GitHub recognizes numerous types of files and will apply the correct highlight syntax whenever possible. It can even render many image file types. There's a whole lot more, but I'll leave it for you to explore on your own. GitHub provides an excellent set of help pages and a terrific search capability. In this simple example, we have just a couple of documents. This perhaps would have been better as a gist. Creating GitHub gists is quite similar, but it's very simple. GitHub pioneered the pull request, a simple and direct way to participate in any software project. Here's how it works. Suppose you found in an application you use a feature that's missing, and you wish to participate in the open source project by adding this feature. First, you clone the repository. This is a Git function, but can be accomplished right in the browser on GitHub. It is a fork when done within the GitHub account. Next, you should create a branch for your update. In that branch, you can apply your changes. When your testing has confirmed the feature works as expected, you push your changes back to your cloned copy of the repository and issue a pull request against the original repository. The maintainer of that project can easily fetch and review your suggested changes and decide to simply merge them directly into the master branch. It's a click of a button for them. Graphs on GitHub show their contributors and the activity. There's a public API for accessing public repositories and gists. What is a gist? It is a sort of snippet library available to anyone with a GitHub account, and it is version controlled in the background by Git. GitHub gists are handy for even non-code related things. You can associate a static website with any repository on GitHub. It is a simple matter of designating a branch on the repository as gh-pages. The recommendation is that you create an orphan branch, especially if its sole purpose is to support the project. All HTML, CSS, and JavaScript will be hosted on a GitHub subdomain and served as a static web resource. If you wish, you can even redirect a domain name to that special GitHub subdomain and get a website that shows no relationship to GitHub. And with a tool like Jekyll, not so static websites can be compiled into a GitHub Pages friendly format. GitHub is a vibrant and active place with numerous tools for software developers at any level of expertise. The feature list continues to grow, as does their staff. You can jump right in and start on GitHub by creating a free account, then participate in the exciting, busy world of open source software development. If you feel a bit timid and unsure about stepping into an existing project, try this great playground GitHub just created. They call it Hello World, and it provides a way to kind of get your feet wet. GitHub has greatly extended the way in which we can use Git. The many features like the pull request, issue tracking, wiki support, and GitHub Pages make it the favored place to host open source software projects. I trust this presentation has provided you an incentive to explore GitHub a bit more. If you do not yet have an account on GitHub, start right now. Thank you for watching.